goes from here. Does he go into a retirement for yet a third time, or does he continue to fight? But with this performance against Roy Jones Jr., it's clear that the light heavyweight division isn't the right division for Tito Trinadad. Well, see, he wouldn't have any trouble getting down to 68 to fight, but even that's 8 pounds heavier than, you know, he fought against Winky Wright, and he had little success in that fight. I didn't think he went around in that fight. In the early going, the fight was real interesting for a while as Tito won the first couple of rounds, and Jones came back and began to impose his will on Tito Trinadad. And it was fairly close right up through 6, and then when Tito got knocked down in the 7th round, it was clear to me and it was clear to Roy Jones that he could probably drop this guy anytime he wanted to. He hasn't been able to do it at will, because after all, Tito Trinadad, you know, he's a Hall of Fame fighter himself, and he's battling right to the bell. But Roy is like cruising through this first half of this 12th round, 12th and final round. And there's the left hook, and every time that Roy lands a punch, you see the head snap at Tito Trinadad. It's amazing he hasn't been knocked out in this fight. And at 19 seconds to go in the fight, Jones would like to take him out right now. He saved himself the last minute of the fight. And none of these punches that Tito Trinadad lands just have any toll. There's the uppercut, left hand, backs Tito off, right hand. Now here's Roy trying to finish it with a knockout. Tito hangs in there pretty good. I think there's some sort of fatigue factor for Roy Jones too at 39 years of age. After all, we're in the final minute of a 12-round fight, and he is not out on his feet. This is a great athlete that he is. A definitive moment for Roy Jones Jr., whose career will live to fight another day. Tito Trinadad, it's up in the air as to what he might do. Powerful shots being thrown by Roy Jones. With 20 seconds to go, he still has aspirations of wanting to knock him out to finish the fight. 15 seconds to go. Tito taking a lot of head blows right now. Closing seconds of the fight.
Nice job, man.
And this fight is all over. Here comes the bell to end it. The bell ends the fight. Now a terrific performance for Roy Jones Jr. And the difference in this fight was definitely the power. I eventually scored it 117-109. We'll hear the official scores in a moment. There's no question in my mind that Roy Jones Jr. has won this fight and won it convincingly.
I still got my 5 left.
I want to thank statisticians tonight, Mike the Greek Randolph, Tammy Kotel, and Nobu Ikoshima for all their effort. Here's the round 7 knockdown. That was the delayed shot where he got hit by the right hand, and I explained how that happens. And then in round 10, the second knockdown, again, kind of off balance, coming in, getting hit with a jab, and then the right hand behind it took him off his feet. But that second knockdown just ended the scoring of the fight. Tonight's transmission provided by Strategic Television. We thank Jason Land, Matt Bridges, and their staff for the great work always.
Now we're going to go to Wales. So we take our show over the road. But
Roy hasn't stopped talking all night. He talked during the fight. Dave, if you get enough voice left to say what you're thinking at the end of this fight? No, you can't do it. Well, Dave Bontempo struggled in the early going, and we appreciate his help in the early part, and the voice just died on him. That happens from time to time.
I told you that, by the way. What's up, Kenny? What's up, man? What the deal? Hey, man. You took a lot of shit. You took a lot of
Still get the smile on that baby face. He's still a hero down in Puerto Rico.
You good? You look good. Good job. Great fight. Fast. Very fast.
You do, Roy.
I think I hype.
What's that way fight? So for Roy Jones Jr., when he gets this decision and it becomes official, Calzaghe, Hopkins, in the future for him, we'll find out what it's all about. For Tito Trinidad, we won't find out tonight what his future is. But there's one thing for sure, he doesn't appear to be able to compete at 170, 175 pounds with the power of a legitimate 175 pounder, in spite of the fact Tito probably walks around the streets at 180 to 190. So again, it was a real interesting fight for 6 rounds, and then with the knockdown. Well, let's make it official now with Michael Buffer, who's standing by to give us the official decision.
Go to the scorecards. Tommy Kazmarek, 116-110. Julie Letterman, 117-109. Nelson Vasquez, 116-110. All to the winner by unanimous decision. He turned back the clock tonight. Roy Jones Jr.
So very little suspense as Roy Jones Jr. record goes up by a big win, 52-4 with 38 knockouts. Tommy Kazmarek 116-110 as Nelson Vasquez had it 116-110, and Julie Letterman had it exactly the same way as I had the fight, 117-109. We're not going to be able to drop in and interview the fighters because of the time constraints here. But again, we can tell you that Roy Jones has talked about fighting either Bernard Hopkins or going over to Wales to fight Joe Calzaghe, and either one of those would be just huge paydays for him, and that's what he's looking forward to, and perhaps garnering another title. Besides the fight that you just saw, if for any reason you didn't get with us from the get-go, show opened with a 12-round unanimous decision victory of Devin Alexander had a tremendous victory over DeMarcus Corley. As a matter of fact, his victory was so sensational that we expect to see him back in King Vision very, very shortly. A terrific fight. And then Alex Bunema had a 10th round knockout victory here over Roman Kamazan. And Andrew Galata with his unanimous decision victory over Mike Mono. This is Roy Jones Jr. doing what he did so well throughout the course of the evening against Felix Tito Trinidad. He just totally controlled the fight, and in the 7th round with that knockdown there, we thought that might have been curtains for Tito Trinidad at that stage, but as it worked out, eventually the power of Roy Jones Jr. was the difference in the fight. And when it was all said and done, all 3 judges, Kazmarek, Letterman, and Vasquez, all agreed with Dave Bontempo and myself that this man, Roy Jones Jr., was the unanimous decision victorious fighter. And the other fight in the heavyweight division, it was a unanimous decision victory for Andrew Galata over Mike Molo in a real crowd-pleasing fight, but Galata's power proved to be too much for Mike Molo. So again, in our main event of the evening, Roy Jones Jr., a unanimous decision victory over Felix Tito Trinidad. Where Trinidad's career goes, we don't know. Roy Jones will go on to fight another day. For our executive producer and director, Frank Belmont, and our producer, Jason Beidel, and for our statisticians, Mike the Greek Randolph, Temi Kotel, and Nobu Ikeshima, and our transmission guys, Jason Land and Matt Bridges. From Strategic Television, we thank you one and all for your great efforts tonight. For Dave Bontempo and our entire staff at Belmonte Productions in King Vision, we remind you that we've got another big fight coming up on the 8th of March. It's for the heavyweight championship of the world. Oleg Muskiev and Sam Peters will do battle. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. For Dave Bontempo and our entire staff at Belmonte Productions and Don King Productions, I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan saying so long, everybody. Good night from New York.